This is Money Motivation and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls on the mothership is always Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. A couple of new announcements that we have not had in the past is, number one, you can now find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@MX3 podcast. And always at MX3.VIP for your podcast, wherever you have your directory and wherever you find your podcast. And as normal, you can always email us for your questions and comments at info@mx3.vip. Now, over the last couple of months, we've been going through a series of interviews that we did down at the Family Office Club in the Fort Lauderdale, Florida area for their annual end of the year convention, and it went very, very well. I know there was a lot of content there for you to consume and absorb, but I want to take you back to what you were doing on January the 1st, New Year's. And what always comes with New Year's is that third word, New Year's resolution. Now, the resolution usually comes with a lot of goals and a lot of things that I'm going to do differently in the upcoming year. In this particular year, we're talking about 2023. So here we are in the middle of February, a month and a half later, and the big word 6 weeks into the new year, unfortunately, is quit or quitting. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about what the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, because if it happens in the Webster's Dictionary, that's still what I call it, then it probably is official with what the definition is. As a matter of fact, Webster's Dictionary updated their definition of quitting on January the 28th, 2023. The first part is to give up employment. Number two, to cease normal, expected, or necessary action. And number three, to admit defeat or to give up. Now, what is normal at this time of the year is all those goals and dreams, and that's really what they were, was dreams, because 80% of you have already stopped whatever it was that you set your goals to be. Number one, working out, losing weight. Maybe you're going to work on yourself, get a better promotion at the work job, and try to work on your career and go up the ladder. You know, cleaning out the garage, getting ready for spring. Maybe you're going to do a better yard. Maybe you just want to become a better father or a better mother. But somehow over the last 6 weeks, as it always does, 80% of us have already quit on those ideas. Now, all the things that we worked on and all the motivation that we did and talked about and absorbed and put into our mind over, let's just say, the last couple of months, let alone the last 6 months, has come down to that one word of quit. Now, over time, let's just think about this. How many people do not even know how to spell quitting? Because some people, Quitting, and some other people, Quiting. Well, the dictionary version from Merriam-Webster Dictionary is Quitting. And for those of you who do a lot of that, you probably ought to get that into your mind so you know exactly what quitting is. Maybe you need to understand and get a good concept of what it means to quit, so in the near future, you will not do as much of it, and hopefully hardly any at all. And that doesn't always just mean that I'm quitting. I understand that there's times where it comes along, and I'll just take the mother of my children, who, yes, she quit her job back in 1994, but it was not that she quit on that job. She quit so that she could go home and be a stay-at-home mother and start raising our children. So there's different ways to look at that. The athlete, and I'll take one of my favorite all-timers, Michael Irvin, who was taken out of the game because of an injury. So in essence, he quit, but it was because of an injury. And then we'll go present tense with the GOAT, Tom Brady, who has now officially retired, I would assume, for the second time, and people can justify that as quitting, but really it was old age and got to the point where his skills and abilities were not what it used to be. And of course, someone who's been on the job for 40, 50 years, and they're at the end of their day, and they're into retirement. So there are different steps along the way, but those steps only make up about 20% of us when it comes to quitting. The other 80% actually walk out on something. They quit the team. They quit the club. They find out that volunteering is a very hard thing to do. I'm going to get up every Saturday morning. I'm going to go pick up trash. I'm going to be in the Lions Club. I'm going to be involved in going down and helping the downtown area to thrive a little bit. But then you find out on that volunteer basis stuff that when you go down there, it takes a lot of time and you don't get paid. And when you don't get paid, it takes even more commitment. Think about this. People quit on jobs all the time where they are getting paid. Now, the reason they quit on their job is because they don't like it. The boss man or woman has asked them to go and clean the toilets, let's say, for example, and that is way below you. So you quit the job because someone's asking you to do something you don't want to do. So now you think about that. I'm getting paid, but I'm not going to do what's asked of me and what's been ordered of me to go out and do. So whenever you're volunteering and there is no accountability, it's all about you. Yeah, your friend, they're a part of that club. They're a part of going down and being a part of some civic organization and doing something for the community. And really, you know, when you're doing things for the community, you're really doing a whole lot for yourself because that's personal growth. You have figured out when you are volunteering, and we're not going to make this a volunteering episode. It's all about quitting, but typically when people volunteer, they 100% of the time usually quit. But there's a lot of growth to be done there, because it's hard to go and do things that you are not getting paid for. And a lot of people make their decisions based on money. But there is a tremendous amount of growth when it comes to and growing with you on an inside basis, such as Meals on Wheels and going out and giving out those meals. There's a lot of satisfaction in going out and doing that particular service. You ought to take your children with you and teach them and show them how that works. But in essence, at the end of the day, 80% of us quit on that operation. We set a goal. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And like I've already said, you go out and you eat these black-eyed peas, I believe is what it is, on New Year's. And you're going to now, in the next 90 days, you're going to join a gym and you're going to go out and you're going to lose 20 pounds. And gym owners, and I've had a lot of gym owners that were my clients, that are my clients, in the recreational facility, a workout facility business, who love the first quarter of every year, because you go in, you sign up for that membership, and you pay your money. Sometimes you pay in advance, but then if you don't, you get in that contract over the next 12 months, and then you are fizzled out by mid-February. See, we'll just take the gym membership. And here is a prime example of building a business model around quitting. They cannot handle every member on their books every day at a certain period of time in their gym. Yeah, I know people come in the mornings, they come in the afternoons, and they come in the evenings. But if everyone on those books that they have as membership came at those three particular different times and only did one of those times throughout the day, that particular gym could not handle the workload that those folks coming in and putting on those machines. Matter of fact, you wouldn't even be able to work out. You'd be standing around for 3 hours trying to get on a machine so that you can then do your workout. What I'm saying to you is their business model is set up to where people are going to quit. But every month, if they didn't pay in advance, they continue to pay. Now, I want you to think about that. You pay and then you don't go. Why would you ever do that? Think about this. I go to the grocery store every Friday and I buy a big old bag worth of fruit. And then I go home and I put it on my counter and then I don't eat it. And I go back the next Friday and I do it again. And over the course of a month, I spend $50 a week on fruit, but I never eat it. But I do the same thing every Friday afternoon. All right. You're not going to continue to buy fruit if you're not eating the fruit. So why would you go out and get into a gym membership and quit? Why would you make any kind of New Year's resolution to where you're going to quit? Because that's what you're going to do, because you're not mentally strong enough to stay in the game. And the first roadblock that comes along, you quit. The first time somebody tells you that you're not seeing any success, you quit. Oh, you didn't lose any weight in January, so you're not gonna quit that. It's a whole lot more fun just to continue to go back and eat the pizza and the ice cream. But maybe you were making progress. Maybe you just couldn't see it then. Maybe you were just about to the point where the results were going to come into play. Because you don't go out and I know we're harping a lot here on the gym, but you don't go out and join a gym and go work out the first day and lose 20 pounds. It doesn't work that way at all. It's just like you don't pick up a book and read the first page and know everything in it. Sometimes you think you do. And I know a lot of people that read the first chapter and the last chapter and don't get anything in between. But this episode and this show is all about quitting. And we know so many people that have already done that. And hopefully it's not you, but more than likely it is. Now, even though you've already quit on whatever it is your journey for 2023, there's no reason why you cannot go back to the goals that you set on January the 1st or set new goals here in the middle of February that you're going to kick off right now. So you actually now have two options. Back in January, you only had one. You set some goals and you tried those for 6 weeks, and right now you don't feel that they're working out. So now it's time to set new goals. Do not be the one who said the first 6 weeks of the year, it did not work out for me, so I'm just not going to do anything the next 10 and a half months. And maybe it was you're going to set up a new savings account, a new retirement account, and you're going to put 1% of your income in it every month. And the first month, you had to pay off all that Christmas stuff, so you didn't get to put that 1% into that interest-bearing account, let's just say. So now you're not going to do it anymore, when you could here in February and March and April and whatever it is. And maybe you really get tied in March and not go out and do those extra things. And then you can make it for what's going on in January, what you didn't get to do in January. But we're going to make so many excuses. We're going to find so many reasons to not only do what we said we're going to do in January, but not get caught up on what we said we were going to do in January. You got to think about that. Do not be that person. Be the instigator. Be the leader. Ask your friends, hey, the New Year's resolutions you set in January the 1st, how are those working out for you? 80% of the people you talk to won't even have made New Year's resolutions. Maybe that's the people you need to get onto our channel here, onto our show, whether it's on podcast or YouTube. Maybe those are the people that you need to do a favor and put them in touch with us so we can continue to start helping them with their journey down this road. You're already on it. And we're going to continue to keep you on as long as you continue to tune in. That's what this is all about. It's in a journey. I don't want to call it a process, because lots of times in athletics, it's called a process, and it seems like the process is never completed. But it is a start, and it is a process, but the process has a goal. And the goal has to be attained at some time. And it's got to be a reasonable goal in a reasonable amount of time, not 10 years from now. If I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to lose it today. If I'm going to join the membership, I'm going to lose it today. If I'm going to start eating right, I'm going to lose it today. I'm going to be eating correctly today. If I'm going to be involved in giving some of my time to the community, it needs to start today, not next year, not the year after. If I'm going to start working on a better retirement plan, because it don't matter what age you are, whether you're 60 or whether you're 25, you can still start today. There's never a time to say it's too late. And with failure only happens if you quit. That's the only way you can fail, is if you quit. So remember that. Are you going to fail, and are you going to quit? Well, you have quit and you have failed when you do both. But you only can fail if you quit. If you are failing and you stay the course, you will eventually be successful. You will eventually obtain your goals. Now, I would challenge some of you. As a matter of fact, I'm going to ask this. Jason, I'm going to ask the audience, the listening audience, and now the viewing audience, as a matter of fact, that I'm so happy to say. Send us your goals. info@mx3.vip. We'd like to see some of those goals. How strong they are, and I don't want to call it weak, but maybe how obtainable they are. Send us your goals. We'd like to know some of those goals, and I will read some of those out in a future podcast here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll talk about what your goals are. And maybe you send us out what you have obtained. Maybe you let us know what you haven't obtained. Maybe you let us know that you haven't done anything towards your goals. You set those goals, and then you went away. Okay? Quitting. Quitting is the biggest word in the month of February of every calendar year. Don't make it your most popular word. Once again, as always, you can find us at mx3.vip on any of the podcast channels, any of the podcast directories. And now, starting on this episode, we did have an introduction, but youtube.com/@ MX3 podcast. You can now find our show on the YouTube channel, of which we're very, very excited about and welcoming all that audience in, because a lot of people get online and they watch and they not necessarily go to podcasts. Then we have a whole lot of people that do podcasts because they're going down the highway and they don't necessarily go to the YouTube channel. Now we've just incorporated another audience in. And I want to bring up one more time, just over the last 30 days, we've had 12,786 downloads. That's right at 3,195 downloads per week. We are ecstatic about that number. The content that we're putting out is what it tells me is people are listening to it. People are tuning it in. People are grabbing it and they're trying to do something. They're trying to make a difference. As a matter of fact, see, we've had 3,195 people just in the last week that decided they weren't going to quit. We've had 12,786 people over the last 30 days that have made a decision they're not going to quit. And what I mean by that is maybe they haven't obtained their goal. Maybe you haven't lost a pound of weight. Maybe you've gained 2 pounds, but you're continuing to feed your mind by listening to the information. And that's what the numbers tell us. That's what the numbers show. Continue to do what you're doing, and you're going to be very happy with the results on whatever that day that is in the future. Goals, goals, goals. And we'll revisit those very soon. But we also, right now, at mx3.vip, I can promise you there's an episode on there about goals. Go find that particular episode and listen to it. If you've listened to it already, go listen to it again and refresh your memory and your mind of exactly what is said. Money, Motivation, and Mike, we're here. We're always trying to bring the great information, the great knowledge to the masses. We don't always get it right, but we're certainly going to continue to try. And we're very excited once again about our YouTube channel. Go. Those of you who don't know what I'll look like, go to the channel and see, because I'm on there now, whether you like it or not. Now, and also just for those in the listening audience, I'm now looking for a cosmetic sponsor to come on here and help me with this beautiful, lovely face that you've already got something good to work with. So until next time, for Money, Motivation, and Mike, live your life the right way.